Hey guys, welcome. Yo, I bet you Jessica's gonna watch this. She's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Probably.
Hey guys, welcome to the Gauntlet podcast. Welcome back, of course. It is cold outside. I think this is like the first and only episode we ever record where it's like cold outside. But you know, I'm pretty sure this episode is coming up in November, and you know what that means? It's about to be Sprite Cranberry season, which means we are back with a third player story, and we are covering Jessica Gillooly. Gaga. Lady Gaga? Oh my god. We actually have a featured snack this time, for once.
We're actually sticking to our rules.
If you open up your ears. Oh yeah.
Red Bull.
We got some Red Bull. I have the summer edition. Kaylani has the winter edition because she has a cold, cold heart. And mine's hot and full of love.
It tastes like blueberry. Like, straight blueberries.
Mine tastes exactly like the tropical edition.
I love the summer edition. That shit's so good.
Even though I do have a hot heart full of love, it's only during A block. We are covering Queen Jessica.
The rise, the fall,
and the destruction.
Bum, bum, bum.
Boom, boom. She got Al-Qaeda'd at the end. But anyways. So, Jessica was a queen during the freaking Zoom era.
She was. That was, like, the only, like, time I ever played with her.
Mm-hmm. But Jessica was, of course, in the first ever Gauntlet season, New Beginnings. And it was a really iconic run, to be honest. She was on the Poo Poo Bear tribe, so she wasn't even on your tribe before you. But you quit anyway, so it doesn't even count.
I quit and said one text ever.
For the most part, Jessica's tribe lost, I think 3 of the 5 times. But the thing is, Jessica was smart about it because she knew what to do with
She had Zoom era knowledge.
She did have Zoom era knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And so she basically ran the game from the beginning. She and her girls, Savannah and Chelsea, that they were like the trio of the season. They ruled the freaking world, like Beyonce, who run the world. The girls run the world, those 3 specifically. Carolina's playing with the high seashell piece of paper in the car. But yeah, they voted Gavin out first, and then they voted Manny out, and then they lost again. They voted Colin out. They did a bamboozle. Kept Simon around, and then they merged and stuff. And even though, season 1 is, it's so, bare bones. So, it's, there wasn't a lot of strategy. So, Jessica, just with 2 allies, was basically able to, run the whole thing. And she was pretty good. She was literally on track to win, too. Even Emily Dunham, gifted her immunity for 1 cycle. But Final 4 is when it was interesting, because Emily was immune. So, the trio was up against each other. So, Jessica and Savannah are alright, we're going to vote for Chelsea, and then Chelsea and Emily voted against Jessica, so it's going to be tiebreaker. And as you know, Chelsea won that season. So, there never was a tiebreaker. Jessica didn't lose a tiebreaker. Savannah fell asleep. So, she missed the voting time. Because Savannah fell asleep, Jessica was voted out. And that was the end of her first ever run, placing 4th.
That's so silly of Savannah. What the heck?
There's a mega tow truck, in the Target parking lot right now.
What the Sigma? Sorry.
Oh, wait, you literally sound like Seashell. You literally sound like Seashell.
I'm not a 12-year-old. Oh, actually.
12-year-old? Yo! Anyways, Jessica came back for, Fans versus Favorites on the Favorites tribe, and she already had majority at the time, because there was, an alliance showdown. So, Jessica's alliance was her, Regan, and Chelsea on the Favorites tribe, and they ended up getting majority by swaying Kat to their side. I'm not going to go into too much detail because this was covered in Regan's episode, which she was the first story. You can find it in the playlist, but basically Jessica did pretty good. When she swapped on to, I believe, Vanuatu, it could have been Samoa though, she teamed up with James and Delaney, and they had majority. They voted Victoria Breda out, and then they voted Adam Stewart out. And then they merged, and that's when numbers fell against them because they, kind of lost hold of Delaney, as an ally, and then, Kat was just doing her own thing because she won her way back through redemption, and then Megan was doing her own thing. So, the votes were very split, so it allowed, like, the ops, like Maddie Kearns, Jeremy, Caitlin, and I believe, and Lisbeth. They held 4 votes. So they just kind of, like, went pew-pew left and right. They wanted to get Jessica out. They went for James first, and after they wanted to get Jessica out, but then Jessica won immunity, so they voted Kat out. Then at Final 7, they took Jessica out. They eliminated her. They exterminated Jessica, and it was so sad. But it's okay, because Jessica came back as a surprise twist for Cameo Island, which is the worst Gauntlet season to date. And at Final 8, she got voted out very quickly, because Shannon was going after all the new players. No, Shannon was going after all the returning players, because they were very rare that season, so she just took them all out.
Honestly, I feel like that's kind of smart.
Jessica was one of those rare cases where she made the merge, but she did not make the jury, and it was very sad. But now we get to some real bro shit. Season 5, the first All-Stars. Jessica on the Heroes Tribe, of course. Literally all these ops were trying to get her out, but she prevailed every single time.
They couldn't touch her!
She would have gone out at the 6th Tribal Council, because Jeremy played his idol. Everyone voted for Jeremy, and Jeremy voted for Jessica, but the villains blocked Jeremy from voting, so that vote for Jessica was canceled out. So then when Jeremy used his idol, the other 4 had to vote amongst themselves. So this was the first time I was ever blindsided by a result, because I thought they were going to vote Kat out, because they've been, like, trying to the past 2 tribals. But then Jessica was like, yo, everyone loves Delaney. If we keep her in longer, she could, like, win or something. Because, like, Delaney winning a season, that seems like something that could happen.
So she just told the future.
Yeah. So she blindsided Delaney. It was a really good move by Jessica, because, as we know, Delaney is really good and really, like, she won 2 seasons, 2-time winner Delaney Allen. Spot her at the Roach Brothers Bakery, but, playing with my necklace.
Marshfield, Massachusetts.
When Jessica merged, they had an alliance with, Megan and Colin from the Villains, so they had 5 versus 3. It was originally, I believe, Colin and Shannon, but Shannon got blindsided right before the merge, so Megan was the natural replacement, because Megan and Shannon are, like, locked in. So, here's what happened. Colin got super idled out, like, the worst way to go home. But they still had majority, so it was good. It was 4 against the Villains 3. The Villains 3 was Maddie Kearns, Lisbeth, and Maheen. Megan and Kat, at the Final 7 Tribal Council, were just like, it'd be so funny if Jessica got voted out. So they flipped to the other side, and Jessica got voted out 5-2. She was so mad.
Oh, God.
When she made the Take the Boot video diary, and at the end of the season, she made the video diary where I specifically did not cut out any of the parts. And Jessica sent me a Snapchat video of her watching it, and she was, like, crying. She was like, you didn't cut out any of the stuff. You're so fake. And, like, I was being a fake friend, but it was, like, so worth it. Like, Jessica came back, because she's a queen on the Emerald Tribe. And this is the season where Jessica was like, I ain't taking no more shit. I ain't being backbone anymore. Jessica was being a real one. So Jessica wasn't even actually on the Emerald Tribe. She was on the Lorgery Tribe.
But she has close ties with Chelsea. Was Chelsea in that?
No, Chelsea won. She couldn't play second chance.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, on the Lorgery Tribe, they lost the first 2 challenges, so they easily voted out Anthony because he wasn't doing anything, and then Corey because it's Corey, and then the tribe dissolved. Jessica ended up on Amaral, and she lost, like, Michaela on the other tribe, which was sad. But as time kept progressing, she only had to go to Tribal Council once, and she voted Wesley McKenna out within the 4-2 vote because he pulled the Simon moment, and his Simon moment was his vote for Simon, which was so funny in my opinion. But when we get to the merge, this is where Jessica really, like, she really popped out. It was basically a 5 versus 5 sort of deal.
She locked in.
It was Jessica, Emily, and Simon, which is the Depression era alliance. Which was named by Jessica, because that's when I said she was in her Depression era. And they also had Shannon and Megan, who were known flippers, but they were in the alliance. And then the other side was just a great room of people to be in with. It was Allison Leary, Corey Christinger, Llewellyn Gaffney, Lily Bossy, and one more. I'm trying to log my memory. Erica Joquin.
So the weirdo side.
So they voted 5 votes on Shannon, 5 votes on Corey. It tied. Revote, nobody wants to go to Rocks. Llewellyn flipped to Shannon's side. So, Jessica was in the majority. They voted Corey out. Now, what's interesting is after this, normally they would use Llewellyn as one of her members, but Llewellyn texted Shannon and was like, we should vote out Simon next time. And, like, we can just keep flip-flopping back and forth, which is, like, such a weird strategy. Like, Llewellyn wasn't really in her head when she said that. So Shannon sent that to her alliance chat, and she was like, yo. So then they all voted Llewellyn out, decided it was the best thing to do. It worked. Jessica was just going along with all this, because she was in with the alliance, like, to the core, like, unbreakable loyalty. Voted Erica out next. Final 7. I believe Megan and Shannon did their iconic flip-flop, and Jessica got voted out. But she was sent to Redemption Island. This is one of 2 seasons that had it. So I believe Jessica only had to win two duels to come back. Mm-hmm. She won the first one. And the second one, it was her versus Lily Bossy, who was not going to do it because she basically wanted to kill herself at that point. And Corey.
Ew.
Corey was the first voted out. But she came back for redemption. She won every single duel. And because she's in this last duel, she won every duel up until this point. So basically, Corey was like she was going to be competition.
Yeah.
Jessica freaking beat Corey. Jessica beat Corey, came back, and then got revenge, and Megan Joyce got voted out. Because they flipped Allison to their side, and then they immediately voted Allison out at Final 5. And Jessica made it to the finale with her number 1 ally, Emily, and Simon. Jury votes ended up being 3-3-1. Simon was the one, so he got to break the tie. Simon voted for Jessica, and Jessica won. Jessica got her long-awaited crown that she probably would have gotten in season 1 if Savannah didn't go snooze.
If Savannah didn't go snooze.
Snoozy. Snooze, you lose.
Yeah, you snooze, you lose.
Yeah. Jessica was eventually invited back to All-Stars 2, of course, because she was a winner. She didn't do that hot, though, in that season. She was voted out 5th on the Malibu tribe, because the Malibu tribe was just tanked. Like, I had to have talked about this before. It was just rapid decline. They voted Allison Leary out first, because, like, it's Allison Leary. Yeah. And then, after that, they all banded together to vote Wes out. But, this was when Aisha and Stella had the ulterior motive. Stella was texting Aisha, and he was like, yo, let's do the idol thing. I'll play my idol on Delaney, and you guys all vote for Delaney. And then you play yours on Wes, and we all vote for Wes. But, like, be a 1 vote for Jessica, and then Jessica sent out. So Aisha was like, okay, yeah, that would be awesome. And then Aisha and Ailish voted for Michaela. So Michaela ended up going home, and Jessica was like, Stella was like, what the fuck? And I don't even think I don't know if Aisha even said anything to her. I just remember Stella sent me, like, it was like a screen recording of their texts. But the next day, Malibu lost again, because it's Malibu. And that tribe had 4 people at this point. It was Stella, Ashley, and Delaney and Jessica. So the sides were basically 2 versus 2. Mm-hmm. Stella found the new Hidden Million Idol. She had this plan. Ashley was going to be like, guys, I'm suicidal, just vote me out. And at Tribal Council, Stella was going to play her idol on Ashley, cancel 2 votes, and then the other 2 votes would go to Jessica, send her home. Stella forgot to play her idol.
Oh my god.
Votes ended up tying, and Jessica was like, yo, Ashley literally volunteered. But then it was like, that's when Stella and Ashley's, like, real plan got revealed. And this is the funniest thing that happened. The tiebreaker challenge, because there were only 4, so there was no revote. It was a Wordle.
Yeah.
There were specific instructions. To clear the Wordle, you have to screenshot your end result, and then send the screenshot in the Malibu tribe chat. Mm-hmm. Jessica completed the Wordle first, and just said the word. She texted the word. And then she texted the word again, and she was like, I was like, Jessica, read the instructions. And then, like, 5 minutes later, Ashley did the Wordle, took the screenshot, sent the screenshot. I was like, let me get that bag. And then Ashley won.
Oh my god.
And Jessica won it. It was actually really funny. Like, Jessica has no hard feelings over that because that was hilarious. I feel so bad for her, though. The last time Jessica was in was Y2K, because I worked with her for new pacing methods. And I gotta say, like, just, like, huge support for Jessica, because she's always doing so much shit. She's, like, student council president and does, 20 college tours a day. And, like, she's always so busy, but she's still, like, be pulling through with the Gauntlet. It's actually, like, insane. I have so much respect for her. But she was here on the Favorites Tribe, and, you know, she did go to Mask. I don't know if she got infected with the Mask plague, but we knew Chelsea did.
Yeah, poor Chelsea.
But for the Favorites Tribe did not lose at all until the tribe swap, and Jessica ended up on the Lohan tribe. Lindsay Lohan. The Lohan tribe, yeah. And we know what happened to the Lohan tribe. Like Lohan Leo, like...
Leo.
Basically, that tribe had 5 people. It entered the merge with 1, just Leo, which means Jessica got cut somewhere down the road. See, when I saw this tribe build up after I did the randomizer, I was like, okay, Rockland's gonna pull through, because it was her and Anthony. And then I thought they were going to team up with Leo and vote out Sabrina and Allison when they can. But they didn't. Jessica and Anthony tried to vote against Leo. So they basically had majority against Jessica, but Sabrina, didn't vote, and then she missed the revote. So Sabrina got she got ejected for the 4th Tribal Council. But then the 5th is an idle misplay. Jessica and... I believe Leo tied in votes, so Anthony was going to flip, but there was no revote because it was Final Four's tiebreaker. Or maybe Leo used his idol. It doesn't really matter. Either way, Leo was safe, and then Jessica ended up going out. But before she left, her last ever season of the Gauntlet, probably, she dabbed on the haters. She sent a picture of her dabbing on the haters, and then she left the chat.
Fucking icon.
And that was the end of Jessica and her steep decline. That was basically her destruction, because after she rose to the top in Second Chance, it was all downhill.
All downhill from there.
But that's okay, because Jessica made a good statement. She was such, an essential part in, the early birth of the Gauntlet.
She was a good player. She knew the strategy for each game. Different seasons. She knew how to play it. Kind of.
Yeah, Jessica always knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
And she was an icon.
Yeah.
And Jessica, if you are watching / listening to this, I just got one question for you. Want to Sprite cranberry?